We are joined by the new head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Brian Shaw. Brian, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Let's talk about this transition that you're going through, because all of a sudden you go from the Eastern Conference Finals, you interview for jobs, and now a month later, not even, here you are in Vegas as a head coach of Denver.
Yeah, it's been crazy. From our loss in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, as you said, I was just traveling and interviewing. Once I got hired, went straight into the draft and then free agency and now summer league. And, there was a lot of turnover. The GM, the assistant GM, the director of player personnel, the coach, all gone. So in this transition, there was no front office staff as well, so it's been crazy. It's been a little bit different, but, now it's starting to finally settle down a little bit and sink in.
Brian, you look at this Denver Nuggets, you look at this Denver team with all the success they've had in the regular season under George Paul. Now you come in, look, I played against you. I know the championship rings and experience you've had. What's going to change about this Denver Nuggets team? Because it seems like this team was built for the regular season, a lot of wins, and now you guys want to make that next step, becoming a team that can compete for the Western Conference, maybe get to the NBA Finals, win championship. What things are you going to do different that people are going to notice right away from the Denver Nuggets of the old?
Well, we're gonna play a different style. I think that obviously getting up and down and taking advantage of the environment up there in Denver, the altitude works to your advantage, and it's kind of cute during the regular season getting up and down the floor like that and scoring a lot of points. But to me, it doesn't really translate into playoff basketball because the game slows down, and when you play a team 7 times, they get to hone in on your strengths and make you, play to your weaknesses. And I think that you have to be able to play and execute in a half-court set. You have to be able to grind it out. You have to be able to get the ball inside. And those weren't really areas that, I feel like the team in the past really, emphasized. So we're going to take more advantage. If you notice, we've kind of beefed up in the middle. We have JaVale McGee, we have Mozgov. We traded for Darrell Anthony. We have Kenneth Faried still, and we added J.J. Hickson as well. So we're going to stress getting the ball inside, playing more inside out. Obviously, we still want to be able to get out and run. But realistically, we lost Iguodala. Corey Brewer signed with Minnesota. Those were 2 guys that really got up the lane and flew up the lane, and we don't have them anymore. So we're going to have to change the way we play.
So basically, what you're saying, you're going to coach the team that you have, right?
There it is.
Well, Brian, one of the things, and this, Sam and I talked about this, it's so difficult to play at altitude. So when you look at changing that style, at home, will you still try to get out and go pick your spots? And then obviously, will there be a different sort of mentality, or is it that blend that you almost saw with Golden State where they're going to be able to score, but Mark Jackson continually just talks about defense, defense, defense?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously that was an area that they really excelled in, getting up and down the floor, attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line. And then speaking of free throws, it was also an area that they were very poor in. One of the worst free throw shooting teams in the league. So we will try to improve in that area, obviously, still take advantage of the altitude, especially on back-to-backs when teams are coming in. It's a difficult place to travel to from anywhere, and the time change. But defense definitely will be the main emphasis, as well as half-court execution, because I think that's, like I said, when you get down to the playoff games, you have to grind it out. Those are the 2 areas that you have to be well prepared in.
Now, Brian, you played for Phil Jackson, won championships with him as a player, as an assistant coach, had great success as first assistant in Indiana with Frank Vogel and those guys. Are we going to see a version of the triangle? That's what I've been waiting at. Are we going to see the Brian Shaw version from time to time on the triangle offense?
There will be some similarity in certain actions that we run that do have triangle spacing, but it will not be the quote-unquote triangle. In the triangle offense, it's the pure form of the triangle offense is a two guard front. with Ty Lawson and his ability to be able to come off screen rolls and use his speed, I think it would inhibit him playing in that type of system. I mean, what I've tried to tell people as I've interviewed over the years is that I played for 7 different teams and a bunch of different coaches that ran different systems, but I've been stereotyped as a triangle guy. I love the offense, obviously. I've had success with it as a player and as a coach, but I will blend a lot of different styles and schemes and what have you that I've been exposed to.
My question is, would there have been a better offense if you guys would have been able to keep a guy like Andre Iguodala that has those attributes, one-on-one skills? Because to me, the triangle was playing against it. Was all this action going on was to get the ball to your best player 17 feet from the basket, where it made it difficult for teams to lock in and help. You never knew where the help could come from.
Well, the backside of everything we do will be predicated on getting the ball at the pinch or the elbow area, where that's a potent spot. It's hard to come and double team from that spot, and if you have your best player with the ball at that position, he can hit any of his 4 teammates. You can keep the defense occupied. You can shoot. You're in shooting range from that distance as well, and you can get to the basket in one dribble. So everything that you need to do is right there at that position. It's a potent spot on the floor, and that will be an integral part of the system that we run.
Where is Danilo Gallinari right now as far as his rehab and getting back? Because that's obviously a huge piece to what you're going to do offensively.
Well, currently he's in Italy and he's rehabbing his knee right now. He's going to get a couple of different opinions on what he should do from this point. I've been told everything from expect him around All-Star break to he's ahead of schedule and maybe be back at the end of December. So right now my approach is obviously we want for him to do whatever he needs to do to get back as soon as possible. But I have to think about the guys that I'm going to have available out there. And that's, when you look at the loss of Iguodala, Gallinari being out, Corey Brewer signed with someone else, that's an area that we have a big hole. We have a big void to fill. And right now, Wilson Chandler will be in that position, and he's more than capable. And some of the young guys that we have, Quincy Miller, Jordan Hamilton, I have to get to a point where I feel comfortable that they can be effective in the rotation, and that's what Summer League is for, to see if I can rely on these guys to do that.
JaVale McGee, the athleticism, the talent is there. The criticism was, the inconsistent play. Now Brian Shaw comes in. You see this talent, you see his athleticism. You're going to change some things. How much more will we see of JaVale McGee? We know what he can do defensively. How much more will we see of him on the offensive end and getting the ball more post-ups, more opportunities for him, for his growth and development?
You'll see that a lot. And that's, one of the first things that I did when I was hired for the job is to reach out to him and let him know that there was going to be a level of expectation for him, especially on the offensive end, that he was going to be emphasized a lot more than he was in the past. And excuse me. And so I think that obviously the talent is there, the athletic ability is there, but I think he tries to do too many things out there on the floor. So we want to kind of slow him down a little bit, put him in the box, and just find 1 or 2 things that he can do real well offensively, and then just grow it from there. So, like I said, I know from having played with Shaq, as a young Shaq, as an older Shaq, as well as coaching players like Andrew Bynum and Pau Gasol, how important the inside game is. And that's one of the areas where I was able to connect with him, and basically stress to him that in order to have success, the teams that do have success, now you throw Miami out. Right?
No, we
talked about that.
It blows my mind, Brian. People try to play small. If you don't have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, you can't play small against him.
Exactly. Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing. I mean, teams down the line, teams that have big men have a better chance of having success. So we want to develop that, and that's why we beefed up our big men down there.
Brian Shaw, thanks so much. Congratulations. Well deserved. New head coach of the Denver Nuggets.